How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Crypto Unveiled YouTube channel. In today's video, of course, we are going to be discussing the one and only Flux. Before we do get started with the video though, of course, if you guys are new around here, make sure you do hit the subscribe button, and also, like I said, every single one of my videos, of course, guys, this is not financial advice, so please, guys, make sure you go out and do your own research and come to your own conclusion before investing into any coins or tokens that I mention in my videos. With that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. So like I said, today's video is going to be all about Flux. He's been on the channel for a while now. You know, I am actually super bullish on Flux because I really do believe that this is an extremely undervalued coin, and I hope that you guys watch the whole video and by the end of it you also share a similar opinion to me. Of course, you might share a completely different opinion, and of course, if you share any opinion, just comment it down in the comment section down below. I always like to read the comments. But yeah, let's first take a look at the price of Flux. You can see it's currently sitting at around 67 cents per Flux, and you can see the current market cap is only sitting at $237 million in the market cap, which may seem high. However, in the crypto space, $237 million is what I consider to be fairly low still, especially for a coin such as Flux, which has so many different has so many advantages, but has so many different features as well, which we'll get onto in a minute here in the video. But yeah, I really do believe that this market cap is extremely undervalued for Flux, and it should be way higher. I mean, at least over the billion. And I mean, even at the end of the video, I'm going to give my own sort of little price prediction as to where I believe Flux will be. So make sure you watch until the very end. You can see the 24-hour volume for Flux is currently sitting at around $7.3 million, with a volume to market cap ratio of around 3%, which isn't bad at all. I mean, if you've been, around the channel for a while now, you'd know that the sort of healthy range which I like to see coins in is around 5 to 7%. However, Flux, with it being around a 3%, there hasn't been too much volume, too much activity, too much news about Flux recently. So for it to be able to, hold this constant 3% volume to market cap ratio, I do believe that this is still a very respectable and very good ratio for Flux. You can see the circulating supply of Flux currently sitting at 350 million Flux, and the total supply of Flux is 440 million. So again, a good amount of circulating supply to total supply. You're not going to see, if you were to invest into Flux today, by the time the circulating supply hits the total supply, you're not going to see too much dilution in your coins. There's not going to be too many coins flooded onto the market, which is again a very positive point. A lot of coins, well, not a lot, but some coins you see have a very low circulating supply compared to total supply, and that is a very big, it's actually a huge red flag, because of course, like I said, this will mean if it has a low circulating supply compared to a much higher total supply, you're going to experience a high amount of dilution, which is not the case for Flux, so it's a good thing. You see over the last month, Flux is actually still up over 10%. If you look over the last 7 days, up around 2.38%. However, if you look over the last year, you see that this chart is very interesting. You see, around sort of March time 2024, Flux had an absolutely massive run up. You can see up to over $1.60 per Flux coin. So if you look over the last month, you think, oh, it's up over 10%, but if you look over the complete the market over the last year, you see that this sort of little increase here may seem big at 10% over the last month. However, if you look compared to the big spike back here, this is absolutely nothing, guys, and this just once again shows you how much potential Flux does actually have and how high Flux can go. Just over the last sort of few months, you can see how much Flux has gone up. I really do believe in the future we're going to see another huge run up for Flux again. If we switch to the all-time chart again, you see this paints even a bigger picture for Flux, and once again, I believe this shows how much more potential Flux still has. If you look back in the 2021-2022 bull run, you will see Flux hit over $3.12 per coin, guys. And I believe one of the main reasons why I believe Flux is still going to be so good is because it is still relevant to this day, and these services are being used by more companies, and they'll continue to be used by more and more people and more companies every single day. And I really do believe that Flux is just flying under the radar right now, and once Flux actually does get picked up by people and more people start to invest in it, and other YouTubers start to talk about Flux more, I really do believe that Flux is just going to pick up and just go absolutely crazy. I really do believe that. And like I said, in a second here, we get onto the features about Flux, And, you know, the features, they're still adding new features, guys. I mean, Flux has been around, it's been on the market for, you know, many years. How many, what's this, 6 years? And it's probably even been development even before then. It's probably founded a good few years before then. So maybe, you know, 5, 6, 7 years, or maybe even 8 years it's been around, guys. And the team are still here developing in it, coming out with new features. And like I said, companies are actually using Flux right now, which does actually bring me on to the next part of the video, which is actually discussing what actually Flux actually does. So to put it very simply, Flux is all about cloud computing. And one of the main reasons why I'm so bullish about Flux is, like I said, they have so many features and they are constantly bringing out new features. You know, the team is just on it. But you know, of course, cloud computing is basically the future. Many people are going to start using cloud computing even more and more every single day. And one of the main reasons why I am bullish on Flux, to be, you know, exact, why am I not bullish on a different coin that does cloud computing? But why am I so bullish about Flux is, like I've just explained, Flux is already being used by many companies already, which is extremely cool to see. You know, a cryptocurrency which is actually has real life value, real life worth, being actually used by actual real life companies that aren't even in the crypto space, which is incredibly cool to see. But, you know, Flux has a absolutely no-brainer thing about it, and that is how cheap they actually are. And of course, this is an absolutely huge selling point for businesses because, you know, it could be the best product in the world, but if it is too expensive, basically the business will not use it. That is the bottom line. But the bottom line of business is, of course, to make profit. And basically, you know, all about the whole thing about businesses is mainly to look at the cost of something. So this is where Flux comes into play. Flux is actually offering the same services as other companies, but offering it at a fraction of the price. And this is why I keep going on about Flux and why I'm so passionate about Flux, because I really do believe that it's a ticking time bomb for Flux, where it is actually going to explode and just go absolutely crazy in price. Because if you look right here, you can see Flux's services are offering this service for $6.12. You look at Google Cloud, exact same service, guys. Nothing changes. Exactly the same service, $176. AWS, almost $80, and Azure, over $116 for the exact same service. And it stays consistent. As you go a little bit more powerful, with the cloud computing, you see exactly the same, $10 compared to $300, $135, $233. And the most powerful one, $20 compared to $600, $467, and $247, guys. And this is why many companies have already started using Flux, because like I've said, this is a no-brainer for them. Why would they use these other companies when they can use Flux, which offer the exact same service? Nothing changes, guys. I cannot stress that enough. But, you know, use them for a fraction of the cost. So I really do believe that this is just a matter of time before people pick up on Flux, and it's just going to go absolutely ballistic. You can see already how big the Flux network is already. Almost 13,000 total nodes, 104,000 total cores, 6.9 terabytes of SSD, and total RAM 262 terabytes of total RAM. You can see it's also spread across many different countries as well. It's 78 countries, and you can see the main ones are Finland, Germany, and United States as well. And like I said about Flux, you know, the main sort of thing about Flux is cloud computing. That is what their main sort of, I believe that's their main sort of goal, you know, for different businesses and stuff to build on their cloud, which they supply, you know, build on Web 3.0, as you can see right here. They're all about Web 3.0. But what is so cool about Flux is they also have an insane amount of other features. You can see here, if we click on the drop down, you can see how many features they already have. You can see Flux Mining, Parallel Assets, Flux OS, Flux Asset, Flux Nodes, decentralized apps. Flux Cloud, of course, is their main one. But they've also, I believe this is the most recent one, also come out of Flux Edge, which, again, this is absolutely crazy, guys, because if you've seen one of my past videos about Render, there's a cryptocurrency called Render, which is all about using decentralized, basically GPU power to be used for AI and you know, rendering, all these different things. Well, Flux has actually, you know, basically done the exact same thing. That Render is all about all this, you know, like I just said, all about rendering, all about AI, all these different things using decentralized GPU power. Well, Flux now, you can not only use Flux for cloud computing, decentralized cloud computing with, you know, CPUs and stuff, but you can now actually use use Flux for sort of cloud GPU, GPU rendering in the cloud, completely decentralized. And this is just absolutely crazy, because this now gives us another reason to use Flux, and it's just is continuing to expand the ecosystem even larger. And I really do believe that the future of Flux is looking extremely bright, especially if they keep adding on new features. Then it's going to be a no-brainer for companies to not only use the cloud computing, but then start to switch over to the decentralized GPU, and then also start to use the other features of Flux. And then, of course, once I believe many big companies start to use Flux, and like I said, it starts to get popular, Flux is just going to absolutely skyrocket. If we look at the rankings right now, you can see Flux is at 198 ranking on the cryptocurrency rankings, and you look at so many different coins here which are above Flux, and they just are nowhere near the caliber of Flux. I don't know a lot of these coins, which says a lot right here. I know Sia coin, I know Engine coin here, which are a couple good coins, but once again, even Engine coin and Sia coin, I wouldn't say that they are actually better than Flux. Flux has so many great features, and it really is revolutionary, and it also has one of the biggest selling point. It has real world use, and it is already being used. It's not even just a goal anymore. It's not just a like a target or a dream of theirs. It's already happening, and it's already been used by these companies. So absolutely crazy with Flux. Of course, what is my price prediction for Flux? Of course, if you haven't guessed it already, super bullish on Flux. And like I said at the start of the video, I believe Flux should be at least $1 billion market cap. I believe in the next sort of year or two, Flux can easily 10x get to the $2 billion market cap. But this all depends whether or not Flux gets out there and starts to get popular, because like I said, Flux is already being used. It has so many features. It's incredibly undervalued. It's just really, I believe it really is just a matter of time before they just blow up in price. So apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure you comment down below what you think about Flux. Are you going to invest, or are you already invested into Flux? Just let me know. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you do hit that like button as well. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And I appreciate it a lot. So apart from that, I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.